Yeah, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be going over some of the new rules and action cards. A lot of those were already covered in the supplemental videos in the fantasy game, so we'll put timestamps down in the description below so you can find those so you don't have to hear a repeat of these ones. And without further ado, let's go ahead and go into the more specialized new rules. Now, what's interesting about this version of Fluxx is that they have a new mode called Learning Mode. It's a meta rule, and everyone has to agree on playing it to begin with. And how it works is you take out the card, name that organ, and then you also have the card called Knowledge Bonus. This was explained in the original video. Name that organ can only be replaced by Knowledge Bonus, and Knowledge Bonus can only be replaced by Name that organ. So cards like Trash Rules do not get rid of these. Now, Name that organ. Before you play a keeper card, you must read the factlet on the card, and the person next to you who's going next can guess the organ to get the chance to draw a new card. Knowledge Bonus is the other way around. You name the keeper, and the person has to guess the factlet that's written on the card. And if they guess right, they get to draw a card. For example, food enters via lower esophageal sphincter and leaves via polyauric sphincter. If the person guesses stomach, and that means they get to draw a card. On the other hand, if the person playing says thyroid, the person might say something along the lines of located at the front of the trachea, secretes metabolic hormones. And if they do that, they are able to draw a new card. Now, the only person who can do this is the one who's next in line from the person that played the keeper. So, keep that in mind while you're playing. Now, like I said earlier in the video, I'm not going to go over the rules for drawing 3 cards, playing 2 cards, and all that. That was all explained in the previous supplemental video. Those things are common for the entire thing. For all the Fluxx games. There might be like 1 or 2 other cards to add it into it, but they're along the same lines, so no need to go into those too well. These ones are the most specific rules to the anatomy version of this game. Like heartbeat. This takes effect immediately when it's not your turn. If you're the one that has the heart in front of you, when it's not your turn, you make the sound beats of a heart. Dum dum, dum dum. And some variation of that. If you do that when it gets back to your turn, that means you get to draw 2 extra cards. Alternate factlet, going on with meta rules, you can state an alternate factlet about the organ that you're trying to guess that hasn't been said already. This is a great way to expand your knowledge of the human body. Card transfusion. This card allows you to discard as many cards as you want in your hand and draw new ones up to that number. So basically just getting a new transfusion of cards to help the game go by better. It's mild case. This means that you can win even though you have a creeper in front of you. But if an ungoal is met, you still lose. Eureka. Now this is a similar rule to the Mystery card in the previous game, but Eureka, different name on the card, so. As free action, you can take the top card of the deck and play it immediately. And lastly, it's spreading. This is a mandatory rule. If you have a creeper in front of you that's attached to a keeper, you have to attach a free keeper that's in front of you as well. So, for example, if you had the virus in front of you, while you have it spreading out, during your turn, you must attach it to a keeper that does not have a disease attached to it already. So, for example, the stomach has the virus. So you attach the thyroid to it as well, representing that it's spreading. Now, same thing with the action cards as with the new rule cards. I won't be going over the ones that I listed in the previous supplemental video. We will, again, leave timestamps to those particular cards in the description below. So, these are the specific ones that apply only to Anatomy Fluxx. No limits. Discard all hand and keeper limit cards that are currently in play. So, for example, if you had the 3 keeper limit out in play, you can get rid of that immediately with this card. Zapper card. Choose any card in play from anywhere except for the basic rules or the meta rules, and you get it added to your hand unless it's a creeper, in which case you have to play it in front of you. If you zap a card attached to another, add such cards to your hand, then place the creeper in front of you. But remember, if you have an empty keeper in front of you as well, you have to attach the creeper right to it. The next action is it's contagious. Any and all players who have bacteria or virus in play may detach said creeper from the keeper they have attached to and move it to another player that is within arm's distance of the person, representing spread of the disease. And they had to attach it to a new keeper in front of their opponent of their choice. Antibiotics. You can draw a card, and if bacteria is in play, you detach it from the keepers that it's attached to and discard it. So a great way to give some diseases. It's not a tumor. A quote from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Kindergarten Cop. If someone has a mutation, they immediately draw 1 card for each keeper attached to it. As long as mutation stays in play, it no longer prevents you from winning. So you must keep this out to remind people of that until the mutation is discarded away from the keepers that it's attached to. However, the ungoals will still happen if the creepers are out on the field in mass. Last few cards are random taps. You take 1 card from each player and add to your own hand. Everyone gets 1. Whoever plays this sets it aside their hand and then draws cards equal to the number of players in play, including themselves. And then they pass out the cards to the other players while looking at them, thereby probably preventing the opponents from winning and making sure that you have the most advantage when it comes to what's being played. It's cured. Discard all creepers that are on the field and detach them from any keepers that they might have. If the rule it's spreading is in play, you discard that card as well. And lastly, one of the more interesting action cards is called appendectomy. You're a surgeon. If anyone, including you, has the appendix either in the hand or on the table, so if you handed it out using the everyone gets 1 card, or if you have it in your own hand, they have to discard it. And they get to draw a card. As a surgeon, you get paid for performing the surgery. You can draw a card if the appendix was just removed. You can draw 2 cards if the appendix had a creeper attached to it. If nobody has the appendix card, then nothing happens. Now, like was said in the previous video about the overview of the whole thing, this is a great way for people to study the human body. And also, as stated again, this particular version of the game is for ages 12 and up with parental discretion because it does talk about human body parts. So please keep that in mind before you do anything. And as before, the link to this particular game is going to be down in the description below, leading to the Amazon page. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And until next time, may luck be your lady.